Let's come back home now. Let's talk about the Athletics Federation of Nigeria, all the drama surrounding the track and field family.
I mean, it's not something we expect. We're supposed to be counting down to the Olympics, preparations and all that.
No
but we are not having that.
No.
A lot of distractions. I mean, President, please step down. President said, I'm not stepping down. But then this happened yesterday right there in Abuja, and the president was in Anambra in Oka, and then about 7 board members, 2, went on the round, but then they sent in their apologies and all that. So like 9 board members, and they sat down and they said because of what the president has done in the past years and all, they want him to step aside so that they can actually investigate, some of the allegations. We won't talk much. We'll just allow the vice president. Now he says he's the acting president to actually give us a breakdown of what the president has done and the reason why they're asking him to step down.
The board expresses dismay at the flagrant violation of the Federation Constitution by its president, former president, Engineer Ibrahim Gusau, who called an annual congress of the AFN in utter disregard of the provision of the Constitution, Section 614. The board noted the agreement the president entered into the sportswear manufacturer, Puma, without formal documentation. The president signed the deal without the knowledge and approval of the board and the knowledge and signature of the Secretary General. The concerning of the Federation document, records, and properties. The board frowned at the president's penchant for taking decisions unilaterally without the board's approval. The board also frowned at the president's refusal to either pay athletes, coaches, and other officials allowances or not pay in full at major international competitions. The board noted that the young athletes who attended the African Youth and Junior Championship in Abidjan in April 2019 are yet to be paid. Athletes who also attended the IAF World Relays in Yokohama, Japan, in May 2019 have not also been paid, while those who attended the IAF World Championship in Doha have not been paid in full, despite the release of funds for this competition by the government. The board also frowned at the president's unilateral decision to vomit funds meant for the payment of allowances for the junior athletes to Abidjan to prosecute the IAF World Relays, a competition World Athletics paid for, or half of the team, to the event. The board's unanimous decision of members present resolved that the president should step aside. I repeat, the board unanimously agreed today that the president should step aside for an investigation to be conducted over his infractions, and the vice president will act in his absence.
Okay, and that's coming from, the vice president saying he's going to be acting in his absence, right? Okay, but interestingly, the president said he's not going to step aside, so he's still the president of Athletics Federation of Nigeria. Let's hear from him, right?
Yeah, when we come back
from the break, right?
We'll get to hear
we'll get to hear from the president.
Former president, now what?
Okay, he said he's still the president, so that's not for me to say. We need to go on the break. When we come back, we hear from the president.
There are several issues that came up, and when you have individuals that feel if it's not them at the helm of affairs, it shouldn't be anyone else. And of course now they think they have a person in place who promotes that idea, of course, that you need to come from a certain part of the country to be a head of some federations. So I believe this has promoted the issue of if not them, who? Let me take you to memory lane. Since 1944, this federation has been existing, and I am the first northerner to be the president. And go and check the results of my election. It was a whopping landslide election for me to head the board. I'm not in this board for the first time. Of course, check my pedigree, and I've been in sport for 27 years. Aside from participating in sport, I've been a sponsor of sports. I think I've paid my dues, and I think whoever is promoting that idea should know that Nigeria belongs to all. It doesn't belong to only part of some part of the country. So yes, again, in answer to your question, some people feel if not them, nobody should head these affairs.
Okay, that's Ibrahim Gusau talking about the embattled president of Athletics Federation of Nigeria. I'm trying to just look for a particular word now to classify what's happening. But we have Ibrozano Adams. He's here in the studio joining us. Ibrahim, Good morning. It's good to have you.
It's a pleasure being here once more.
Straight to have
it's been a while.
Ibrazano. I mean, you've been following everything
Absolutely.
from yesterday, the AFN, and we're going into an Olympic year, and you would expect, all hands to be on deck and everyone rowing in the same direction. But that's not the case.
It's a big disappointment, and it's also a shame that in this modern age, we expect that administratively people should be getting it just as the athletes on the pitch are getting better.
Results, yeah.
But each time from one misdemeanor to another, so it's not becoming a house of comics. Most of the federations, I think the term house of comics is because there's that cult of selfishness which is enthroned, whereby if it is not about social person, it's not. And also, basically, I keep talking about the fundamental issue because we don't have a sporting ideology. And when you have a sporting ideology, and also we talk about accounting, is it the responsibility of the president to carry the fund? There's the account department, everything goes the way it is. We're in an age of technology where things are done automatedly, whereby what you're not supposed to take, you don't take it. It's there in this. Why do we have BVN to authenticate who is behind so? So now look at Gusau, with all due respect, said he's been in sport for a very long time. Good for him. But we still expect them to do better. Look at the shambolic situation in Doha. Not quite long, the World Athletic Federation, $150,000, which went into a whole lot of things. So it's not the right music in a year leading to an Olympics.
Okay, I hope they can actually resolve the whole situation so that we'll have a proper board in place. And of course, we can get to talk about preparations for the Olympics. That's our concern right here. What's in for the athletes? How are they preparing? What are they doing to ensure that they'll turn out better? We know the last Olympics, there was nothing to write home about. So this time around, everyone is expecting a better result, knowing that some athletes had a good performance at the World Championships in Doha. Let's leave that and talk about this one.
You can count them on one hand.
Okay.
The athletes are, I guess.
Okay, you can actually count them on one hand because the ones we actually expected to do better couldn't. But we know that if they prepare better,
exactly.
they can
So
give
the
us a
issues
better
are
result. So it should be
administrative issues are. They have been a problem since time immemorial.
Yeah, so NOC should take over the athletes and start preparing them and let the board sort out whatever they're trying to sort out. I think that's just what they need to do. Let's move on and talk about this one, what's happening in Delta State. You know, Delta State, they just love sports. Other states love sport, not just Delta State, but this state just have a way of churning out, how do I put it, sporting events, time on time. The Ijo Ishekiri Peace and Unity Cup took place over the weekend. And of course, you had, brilliant performance coming from the different athletes that participated, talking about players. And you have Ogidigben FC, were the ones who emerged winners for that particular event. And you had other participants also, other clubs and other states, other local governments also taking part. But it was Ogidigben FC that emerged winners. And there was 2 million naira prize money. It wasn't all about the money because according to the organizers, it's all about, organization, and it's all about unity. It's all about discovering talent and all that. They want at least getting someone, from this community to actually, don the green, white, green. That's play for the senior national team. And that's some of the things they expect.
I mean, talents can be found anywhere.
Anywhere, yes.
No doubt about it. But Ibrazano, this is football, sports generally. I don't think there's any bigger unifier out there.
Absolutely, because Nigeria, after religion, I think football is next to it. It's the opinion of the masses, basically. And if you look at the Shekiri, the job people, the fracas here and there, I think sports, football is a unifying factor. And I'm happy about it all, but I would love them to sustain it, give it a face whereby maybe sponsors can come in and look at, okay, this is an ample opportunity, empower the youth, because the youth are the key components of the society. Absolutely. They are the larger ones, and they are also vulnerable because you can easily lure a youth with 50 quid and he goes commit atrocities. But if you get them busy, mentally busy and physically busy, they will not have the time for the ball. Just like you said, they can pick a greenhorn from here and start playing for Nigeria. It's happening everywhere. We remember a particular side from the southeast in 1999 that surprised everyone, got to the semi-final of the FA Cup.
Yes.
Before you knew what they had, Arugo,
Monkey,
they had the keeper who's called Arugo go monkey, whatever. And before you know, the big boys started decimating this, and they got good talents. What are we saying? Talents abound everywhere.
Yeah.
It is the management of the talents, harnessing and then giving them that platform. This is a massive one. And Delta State, just as you said earlier, I'm happy about the facilities and everything. You know, talent show better on a good facility.
Yeah, absolutely. It shows better on good facility, and that's also what they need to improve on, facilities and also getting the players to do the right thing. This Ogidigben and Ishekiri community beating Okeren Koko FC 5-4 on penalties, and the game ended 1-1 at full time, so they got the 1 million naira cash prize. Second place was 750, the other one 500. But then let's just listen to the organizers, what they had to say concerning the competition.
This is what the whole world needs right now. They came up with the Olympics after the Second World War so that we can put away our nuclear bombs, our AK-47, and go and compete with physicality, that is in sports. And I think this is what we need in our area, the Jaws, the Shekiris. We have always lived together for years. We've loved each other, married each other. And this is only to strengthen our togetherness, our unity. And I think we should continue and even invent some more competitions like swimming and wrestling.
We are not just playing the tournament beyond peace building, we are also developing them so that we can sell them to other leagues within the nation. So maybe in the nearest future, I want to see where I will see some Ishekiri, some Ijo at the national team at the national level. That is my dream.
Hopefully his dream will definitely come true someday. Okay, let's leave this one and talk about another one. I mean, this is not looking good, right? Okay.
No, let's talk about
MPFL, yes.
Yeah,
let's talk about Nigerian
about
Professional
that.
Football League. Some games that will go down today before we talk about the other, a little bit of crisis with Ondo State Football Agency and all that. But games for today for Nigerian Professional Football League. Some matches will be decided today. Remember, it's Saturday, Sunday, and Wednesday. So these guys are really, I think they are the winners if you want to say that, because of what they've been doing in a while. That is having to play Sunday and play Wednesday and travel across border. We can see a fixture for today.
Yeah.
Talking about Nigeria Professional Football League, the games that will go down.
Just one game, actually.
Just one game? Okay.
Yeah, Alco Starlets taking on Kano Pillars.
Okay.
Yeah, there you have it. As a rescheduled game, and Pillars, bad start to the season, still looking for a win. And but this is on the back of a good draw
Away from home?
Yeah, against Plateau United. So, but against Aqua Starlets, who have been very surprisingly good this season, it'll be a very tough one.
Absolutely, it's going to be a tough one. Kano Pillars, vastly experienced, and I think one of the biggest problems they had in the past 3 or 4 seasons was the fact that they retained many of their old players. It's like the younger ones found it difficult penetrating. You know, when they got to their peak and they were dominating the scene. Now, other things are getting better. And Aqua Starlet, like you said, is a team more like on fire, but let's say how they're going to sustain it. And like Cecilia said earlier, I think I give kudos to the guys because we're playing catch-up one, and also the fact that they need to be playing 2 games within a couple of days, traveling far distance, you know, the recovery rates, they don't go by charter flight here and then you say they'll recover fast. There's almost everything stacked against them. But if you're a man who's determined to make a name for yourself, because you know that whatever crisis challenges on your way is a stimulus for you to get to the next level. I think that's kudos to the players.
Okay, for Kano Pillars, they haven't won a game this season.
Yeah,
Interesting.
still
Aqua
looking-
Starlets,
still
they haven't
looking
lost
for
a
a
game
win.
this season. So, stark contrast.
Absolutely. I'll give it to Aqua Starlet. I saw the game when they went to Enugu
Rangers.
and some other games, and I was saying, wow, where did they come from? So let's see how they sustain it. And my concern with Nigerian League is the fact that you start winning, you have a long run of victories, and then all of a sudden it torpedoed and you start losing. But
Yeah, simply because, we talked about the traveling and all that. I think sometimes these players just get
logistics
tired
has
and
always
they
been
can't give so much.
a big issue.
Yeah, hold on.
And let's hope they work it out better. And in the off season, I was expecting so many of the clubs to go into partnership with some of the transportation companies and here and there, where they could ease things out, brand them here and there, and they could have a partnership thing that will
Aqua
help
United
them
have
out.
done that,
Yes,
but
which
not
is
all
a good one.
a good one for them. Okay, Canopilas 19 on the log. That's strange, right? After 6 matches.
Same
Okay,
Mesugida.
after 5 games.
That's their
After
nickname.
5 games. Okay, we still have so many games to
Yeah,
play.
they can
Okay,
always bounce back.
they can always bounce back. That's Canopilas, right?
Yeah, they can. There's enough games out to do.
I've watched their games in Kano, and you need to see the stadium, whether they're not playing well or not, jam-packed
fans
and
are always there to support
there.
them.
And your heart will be beating if you're from the away side because of the passion. Even if they are trailing in 88, 89 minutes, the fans will still be there with the impression that they're going to do. So it's one of the sides that I really support. I'm not from Kano State, but that's the club I support in Nigeria.
Okay, yeah, we got a Canopilas fan here. Okay, now let's move to the south, talking about Ondo State, where former players from Sunshine Stars, Sunshine Queens, and also another club, Rising Stars Football Club, all of them, they've appealed to the government to actually pay them their outstanding salaries. I mean, sign-on fees. I mean, these players are no longer playing for these clubs, but then they said this money were owed, I mean, several years and several months and all that. At the end of the day, they just want the money to be paid. And if it's not, well, Sunshine Stars will be the one that will suffer, because Sunshine Stars couldn't train when they came down here because these players were here and saying, look, we need to get our money back. Before we get reactions, I mean, let's just listen to some of these players, what they're actually demanding and the reason why they are stopping Sunshine Stars from training.
I played for Sunshine Queens for 4 to 5 years, which I had an injury. And since that year, we had a sign-off fee issue. They have not even paid us. And I have spent almost my last kobo to treat my injury. Till now, that was what cut me short from this football. But till now, Ondo State didn't pay me single of that sign-off fee.
They are owing us 2012, 2013 season for our sign-off. That is contract fee. And we've done a lot of things to make sure that we get this money out. Mimiko has paid part of the money. So now we have decided that this particular week, it's either they give us our money or Sunshine is not playing their match.
They pay us 7 months before Mimiko left, and government is a continuum. So we came to Mr. Mimiko, Mr. Akeredolu. Though he was not around, but we came for protest then. He couldn't listen to us. So we met with chairman. They promised we see Mr. Governor. So that I could remember that was it, as the governor said, he wrote something on our fight, that bring it up. Since then, we've been trying. Nobody has ever taken our fight to Mr. Governor.
Yeah, not good at all. Okay. All right. Appalled. But then...
Yes, just as Salam said, it's a disappointment. But my concern is the clubs here don't respect contracts. You can take it to the bank, sign-on fee, whatever, and even if you're leaving the club, they will try to hold on to it. Either you forfeit the sign-on fee or they will not give you your free transfer. And if you look at Sunday Umba today, that is one of the biggest problems he had. When he came like a rough diamond, scoring that crucial goals, he was on loan at Enugu Rangers. What happened later when he became a star? 2 clubs were saying his ass is that because of the purported belief that you're going to earn foreign exchange when it goes abroad. And the guy left later after the whole thing was settled, and they said he was a free agent. Now look at his career today.
Yeah,
and we look
really
at it, there's nothing, it shouldn't be the governor's concern, because there's a sport agency that should relate to the commissioner of sport. Mike Idoko was there. It was very effective. So I wonder what happened later. And Dukudi had a very terrible situation there too, and he left to Osun United. They're still owing him. If they even owe you 2 years, they're not going to get how much more? 2013.
Okay, that's big. But meanwhile, the chairman of Ondo State Sports Commission, Tajuddin Akinyemi, says the government is actually aware of the situation and he has promised that these players will be paid. But when, he really can't tell.
I inherited this from various governments. And the various governments, it was 15 installments. The various governments they have paid 8 of it, remaining 7. And immediately I came into into the office. I got the what can I call it? I got information about it, and I submitted this case to HOS, Head of Service, and I've been helping. I was with the governor's wife to tell her to help me accelerate this. So we are doing our best to see that they are paid. But the thing is that, time is so short, and I know the governor will do it.
Okay, hopefully he will do it soon and very soon. Okay, let's leave Nigeria now and move straight to France. Tayo, the Nigerian guy that's actually making us happy this morning.
Exactly, Josh Maja, that's his name. We saw him briefly for Nigeria against Ukraine. Didn't really get enough time to really show what he can do. But he's been in France playing for Bordeaux. Scored a hat-trick yesterday night for his team, and of course it was a very convincing win for Bordeaux. But for Josh, you've seen him play a few times. What do you make of him? Obviously he's a very talented forward.
Absolutely, he's a bally player, but he's got some good feet also,
he's got
and
great feet,
he can also get in the right place in the final third and decision making, which is crucial, which was what he made yesterday. My concern is that every time we keep churning out good talents, bring it all over, making the headlines. I want to see them be molded into a team and a compact side when it comes to the national team. But this is a plus for Nigeria,
of course,
and a big headache for the technical advisor, because he's going to look at whom he's going to chop off from the team now and bring this guy in to give him a chance again. But absolutely, it's a good one.
Fantastic. It's a great option for the coach. You've said
a positive headache.
Yeah, Kelechi just seems to be back in form as well too. Meanwhile, certain players like Paulo Onuachu have not been doing great, even for country and club. So who knows? Perhaps he might be. Yeah, get to the chop using the word of. But fingers crossed. That was how it goes, anyways. But do you have anything to say?
Yeah, so the good thing is actually in the best company, because he has some best scorers age 20 or under. Victor Osimhen is number 1 with 8 goals so far. Jadon Sancho is number 2. Kylian Mbappe number 3 because he has scored 5 goals each. But Victor Osimhen is in a class of his own there. And of course, Josh Maja, number 4, scoring 4 goals. He scored at the weekend, and before he scored a hat-trick again in that 6-0 win. So it's a good one.
Yeah, good one for Josh
is also there, but then Josh is number 4.
Josh Maja, definitely great talent to watch. Well, still very young as well too.
And I'm happy for the guys. I'm happy for the guys, because if you look at the Super Eagles forward, Osimhen has really impressed me. You know, he struggled with Wolfsburg, went everywhere, and now in the league,
he's found a home.
He's found a home, and he's got that presence, languid in nature and very intelligent.
Absolutely.
You know, you find few players who are good aerially and also with their feet. So, and look at Josh Maja too. So the Super Eagles has the propensity of players growing together for 12 years. And the understanding is going to be telepathic. You don't need a player to tell you, give me ball. You know, you can time their runs.
Be anywhere and get the ball, which is really cool.
Yeah, a lot of work still has to be done for that to be
Absolutely.
achieved. Yeah,
Absolutely.
so that's on the technical advisor. That's gonna raw. Let's move on from Josh Maja. Of course, we wish him many more goals for the rest of the season. Let's go on a break. Our final break of the show. We'll come back. We'll be doing the preview of all the matches that we played in the English Premier League tonight. None bigger than Jose Mourinho's return to Old Trafford.